This is reposted.
Mr. Keller, I don't know if you know this about me, but one of my favorite old guy authors is a UCLA professor named Jared Diamond. He's written such hits as Gun, Germs, and Steel, The Fates of Human Societies, and Collapse, How Societies Choose to Fail or Succeed. Our quote today comes from one Dr. Diamond, who said, with the rise of chiefdoms around 7,500 years ago, people had to learn for the first time in history how to encounter strangers regularly without attempting to kill them. I thought this quote was sort of interesting in that I feel, I'm not a medical doctor, but this vaccine's going to kind of slowly roll out. We're not going to get it all at once and everybody's going to be cured. You're going to have to, some degree, kind of figure out who you're going to want to be around according-ish to whether you think they're healthy or not. First of all, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I've been wondering how I'm going to adapt to that or what steps I'm going to take, because there's not going to be an all clear flag. You're not going to get, like the NASCAR analogy, you're not going to get the green flag to go full back. I'm to kissing strangers on the mouth again. So you're going to have to take make educated decisions on who you want to interact with. And yeah, I don't necessarily see that. Well, I guess I do see the correlation to this. Anyway,
back to the original question. Back to the original question. Like when normal times, did you choose to? Are you skeptical of a new person that you meet, or were you very open to, hey, this guy might be an okay person or gal?
I think it would just, I think a lot of it depends on the situation you're in. Like if I was with a group of friends and a new person comes in, you're probably more open to being able to be open about that person than if you're feeling vulnerable. For me, this quote made me think of how just in general, we're trying to tell people not to make judgments. And a lot of them are don't be prejudiced or don't do stuff based in negative feelings. But like it made me wonder, is it a learned habit or is it primal based on this quote to instantly make snap judgments about people? Like if I was walking down the street and I saw the coach of the New England Patriots, I might think he's a homeless person. I could make a snap judgment based on that, like based on his appearance. We're told not to do that, but based on this quote, it's more of a primal reaction to do that.
I mean, I think it's most of the things that are human are primal, right? Because our brains are wired to make snap decisions. Once again, back on the Serengeti, you come out of the cave, you quickly got to realize, do I run from that tiger? Or do I pick up a spear and throw it? You got to like make these instantaneous decisions. And only because life has become society, we don't have to make them as quick anymore. But I still think our brains are wired to make snap decisions about people.
Yeah, I think they are. I think the funny version of this is thinking about someone going up to a stranger and trying to kill them and their friend going, wait.
How do you size someone up? Do you know any of the characteristics you use to, when you meet somebody, kind of size them up?
You mean as a physical threat or just them as a person?
Just like in general, like, oh, that's someone I want to get to know more. Or, wow, that guy's a turd bag. I could never see them again.
Well, first of all, I can't turn this off, but everywhere I go, I size up anyone I see. And if they attack me, I have a way that I'm going to react to it. Like I'm always have how I'm going to fight in the back of my mind. But just
wait a minute, hold on a second. Is that like the what's that movie with Matt Damon? Like where he walks in the room and knows exactly how he's always going to get out and who's got to punch in the face? Like, is that what
Jason Bourne?
Yeah, Jason Bourne.
I know I can run at a full out sprint at this altitude and my heart rate will stay below 60 beats per minute. But I guess to answer your question, I kind of like, I judge, I use people's posture. I use how they engage with people. Just, I think physical attributes is what people present is how I make the judgment without actually getting to know them. What do you do?
I'm, as you know, my defense mechanism of anything is I ask people questions and I let them sink or swim on their own. I feel like my BS detector is pretty good. And if I just feel like if I ask enough questions, I can usually get to the heart of whether they're spewing BS. And if they're spewing BS and I just met them, I'm like, I don't know if I ever need to talk with this person again.
Yeah. I think it'd be an interesting thing, the difference between like a salesman and someone who works in a laboratory, like a scientist, like
Yeah.
having to do that all the time. Are you going to be more or less prejudiced? I think the more interact.
Hey,
Okay, I'm back. So,
I don't know if that was you or me, but it went away.
oh, okay, good. I sure.
Let's see what happens in the edit. I think the more you interact with people, the more you're going to be able to make snap decisions in a more accurate way. But then the problem with making the snap decisions in an accurate way is there's the outliers. Like 9 times out of 10, Larry with blonde hair is going to reach for a Coors Light, but sometimes you're going to reach for a Miller Lite. Like there's exceptions. So of course, give people the benefit of the doubt, but it's primal to protect yourself.
This is kind of the last question I have with this. We've met people during the pandemic. It's not like you've not met anybody. You've had to go meet contractors for your house. We've certainly. Have you noticed any difference with meeting someone when they have a mask on?
Yeah, the weirdest thing for me is, so right now we have people refinishing the floors, and I met a guy for the first time, and we talked, and I told him everything we were going to do. I go back later. A lot of the construction guys put the mask on to talk to you, and then when they're working, they take it off because they're all around each other all the time. And I go in there, I'm like, "Hey, is Omar here?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm Omar." I've met so many people with masks on, and then you see them later without a mask on out of context, and you don't know who they are. It's interesting how much the nose and mouth make up how you look.
Totally true. And I feel like with this quote today, I'm going to pay attention a little bit more to people when I see them with their masks on because you really can't see expression. Like you just like I could be smiling or smirking or whatever. You can't. I don't know. It doesn't even matter. Sometimes I go like, doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, do you ever have the urge to kill someone when you see them and don't know them? You're like, well,
I yes.
Well, if you don't want to die, please reach out. You can find us at Reposted Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. I'm Andrew Keller for the unreadable sign saying thanks for stopping by.